Hello, Karen.
Good morning, Leah. How are
Oh,
you?
lovely. You are still there. Karen, to start, how big of a problem is elder abuse in New Zealand right now?
I think one of the issues, and as you alluded, that it is often hidden. So often we see older people don't want to speak out because
Mm,
it's happening. As we said, 88% of alleged people were family members. And there's often a real power dynamic. They don't want to speak out because they don't want to not see their family. They don't
yeah.
want to not be supported by their family. So one of the challenges is really knowing how big a problem it is.
And yeah, that would be the challenge, wouldn't it? Because the mistreatment can come in various forms, can't it, Karen? It's not just physical or emotional. What other types of abuse are you seeing?
I guess the big thing is that psychological abuse, which is about 85% of abuse has that element, which is really, as you said, it's emotional, but there's a whole range of ways that plays out um, quite subtly. And I'd have to say that it also, most elder abuse starts quite benignly. It starts with someone really wanting to help, but
Yeah.
then there is just that flip that happens. So we definitely know that financial elder abuse is present in over a third of the cases, almost a third of the cases.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're trusting someone to manage your finances, then really, it's such an erosion of trust to learn that someone that you are trusting to look after you is ripping you off or stealing from you or not really having your best interests at heart.
Yeah. That's interesting, that part, Karen, because I mean, heartbreakingly, a lot of it does come from family members. Is it a sign, obviously, that a lot of older people, as they age, rely more and more on their family for, everyday things like maybe shopping or getting around. And sadly, some family members or some people in the family take advantage of that because now they've got the card and they can, I'm assuming this is what can happen financially, and start all saying, you're too old now, Gran, to do that. I'll take the money. Do you see that?
Yes, that's definitely, that kind of behaviour we see. And as I said, that sometimes can happen benignly. And then it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I've done a lot this week. I'm going to buy something for myself. Or, and
yeah,
it is that difference between please fill your car with petrol and I'm going to fill the car with petrol, without having that conversation.
yes.
But it's
Is there?
also, there's just a whole range of ways that it just creeps in.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder, Karen, if not, some family members might think that they are doing the right thing. That grandma or grandpa or whoever we're looking after, we're just going to not let them spend that money on that. Or is it, do some family members think that they are doing the right thing?
I guess again, it's the lens that you look through it. One of the challenges we also see is that there can be challenges between the siblings or the different children in the family,
Yeah.
particularly if there's one family member that's got more of the care. So
Mm,
sometimes the concerns that get raised are around the behaviour of a sibling towards a parent or that
yeah.
someone, and just some of the challenges are particularly if there's an enduring power of attorney, how that might play out when it is enacted. Um, so yeah, I guess there's lots of things. I mean, some of the largest examples is convincing an older person to sell their home, to maybe invest in a child's home so that they can come and live with them. And again, that sounds like it comes from a really good place,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
it can move into suddenly, mum's in the back bedroom and we were going to build the granny flat, but now, we just delay that and delay that. And they can get to the point that they feel like a stranger or an outcast and just feel really uncomfortable living
Mm,
with family members. And again, we know that in many cases it works brilliantly and it's
yes.
wonderful as
Yeah.
generational support. So we're not talking about all of these, but we just want people to be aware that these things can happen.
Yeah.
And that, what we're wanting to do really is ensure that older people feel safe and that their well-being and also their wishes, because again, that's
Yes.
a risk that we don't allow the older person to have a voice and a choice
Yeah.
about where they live,
What
what they
happens to
do, who
them?
they see, how they
Yeah.
spend their money.
Is there a lot of shame or fear of speaking out, Karen? I mean, how can we encourage older people to feel safe to ask for help?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. You're right, shame. Particularly feeling that this is one of your family members that has done this to you and put that. You know, we think that's why some people don't speak out. So we try and ensure that between us, and there's also a national helpline that people can ring, and the 0800 EA not okay, and that's confidential support.
Yeah.
But what we find is that it's really the older person that will raise the issue. It's normally those around them, so other family members or friends or neighbours. Sometimes people who are working professionally with an older person might just think there's something not right. So we just encourage that people, ring if they've got a concern. Just ring and talk about it with one of those 0800 numbers.
Yeah,
And we can
right.
just see how we can provide some information, and just because obviously everyone, the main concern is the older person being safe. So we look
Yeah.
at the issues, explore options, and then we always want the older person to be involved and consenting to it, but we might just need to have a few conversations to engage everybody in what's happening.